Hi everyone and welcome to this video. So today we're going to be looking at how to attach Lambda functions to our agents that we create in Bedrock. So let's get started, and so let's first begin with creating a new agent. So I'll just go ahead to the Amazon Bedrock service and click on the create agent here. And so for this agent, let's just call it date time calculator, date time calci. Okay, and let's just click on the create button. So what our agent is going to do is that we're going to enable it to calculate the date and time dynamically. As you're aware, LLMs by themselves do not have this functionality because they are trained on pre-existing data. They won't be able to make any kind of these dynamic calculations by themselves. So in order to get over this limitations, we're going to create a Lambda function which has the capabilities to just get the current date time, and this agent will invoke that Lambda function via this action group, and it will be able to give the response. Okay, so first let's select our model and let's just go ahead with the Amazon's Nova Pro model. Okay, and for the instructions, I have prepared one instruction sheet which I'll just copy here. I'll just explain the instructions as well. So I've just mentioned that you are a date time calculator agent, and I've mentioned that that I will attach a function to which will return the current date time. You will respond to the user with the result sent by the function. I've asked it to not hallucinate and make up any date time by itself, and to only return what is calculated by the function. Okay, it's a simple instruction. I'm just asking it to just use whatever date time is being returned by our Lambda function and nothing else. All right. Great. So now we have saved it. Let me just go over to action groups. Okay, so this is where we can add our Lambda functions. All right. Let me click on add here. And for the action group name, I'll just, I can call it something like date time calci group. Okay. I'll just leave the description empty for now. And here we have two ways to add our action group types. One is by the function details, so we can define the function name, the parameters, what type of parameters basically are required to invoke the function. So that is the first option. Second option is via API schemas. So if we have an API gateway, or even if we want to invoke a Lambda function using an API schema, right? So then we can use this one. So for API schemas, we can upload it either like directly or use the S3 bucket, or we can use that open API schema to mention that okay, you can use this function with all of these different parameters. So that is what this is. Right now, let's go ahead with the first option. We'll go ahead with the define with function details option. Under the action group invocation, here let's just click on quick create a new Lambda function, because this will create our boilerplate a template with the Lambda function with the necessary permissions required as well. Okay, and for our action group for function one, so for a function I'll just call it the current date time agent, because this is going to calculate the current date time. All right, for now let's just click on the create button. Okay, great. So our action group has been successfully created and enabled. Let me just go inside it. Okay, and if I go inside, I can see the name of the Lambda function that's created for us. So it's called current date time calci group. Okay, so let me go ahead and open up a Lambda function service. I'm just typing in Lambda in the search box and opening it in a new tab. And under that, okay, this is our current sorry, not this one. So this is the current function that has been created for us. Let me open it up, and under the code tab, we'll see the code that has been added. So by default, AWS gives us a boilerplate, a template on how the request will be. So how that event will look like, how we need to respond as well. Okay, let me just quickly explain this here. So I've opened up this like documentation in a new tab. Okay, and so essentially they have a set of rules on how our request will look like. So this is basically how the request that comes to our Lambda function from our agent. So whenever our agent makes a call to our Lambda function, this is how the request to our Lambda function will look like. It'll have the input text, session ID, the API path, HTTP methods, and all of these values will be there, so that if we want to play with these values, manipulate them, and do some actions in the backend, we can do it from this. Similarly, if we have to send back a response back to the Bedrock agent in a way that it can understand. So this is the type of format we have to format our our response in, so that our Bedrock agents will be able to understand them. So this is basically the format, and this is the same format that they have mentioned in our code as well. So if you check in our code under the Lambda handler function, so they're fetching the action groups, the function names, the message version, parameters, all of that from the event dictionary itself. So we have, as you're aware, whenever we have a Lambda function, we have two parameters that are passed in the event and the context, and the event will be of a type dictionary. And so from that event dictionary, we are fetching all of these values, and how we have to format the response body will look like this. So we have to mention that it's of type text format, and under the body key we will mention like whatever the response is, and this is how the final response will look like. So this is what's being returned back from our Lambda function into our agent. Okay, so now we have to modify our function to enable it to use, to calculate the current date time. So I'll just mention from date time we can import the date time module. Okay, and so before here, let me just calculate the date time. So I'll just mention now is equal to date time dot now. So this is a function that will return us our current date time. And so I'll just use this. I'll also mention along with the function was called successfully with parameters. Instead of this content, let me just mention that the current date time is now. So I'll just mention our variable. Okay, so this is what's going to be returned by our Lambda function. It'll calculate the current date time and it'll return it in the body. So let me just click on the deploy button, and it's currently updating the function. And before we move ahead, I'll also show you what are the permissions that's updated. So if you go to the permissions tab under configuration, and you can click on this role name. Okay, and this will open up the IAM service with our role. And under the permission policies, you'll see that this is the policy that's been attached to our Lambda function. Okay, so this will right now they have just given the basic permissions on creating the log group and allowing it to create the log stream and put the log events. All right, let's go back to our agents now. Now that we have configured our Lambda function with the code, let's go back to our agent details. I'll just click on our agent builder, go back to our agent builder. Okay, so we have added the instructions. Let me click on save so that we can prepare the agent once. Okay, so now let's just try to ask it what is the current date time. What is the current date time? And right now you're seeing that it's able to give us what the current date time is. So this is being dynamically calculated. Right now you can see this is the current date time exactly. This is calculated from our Lambda function. Okay, so let me show you guys like one more important concept is how we can pass parameters into our Lambda function. Okay, so first I'm going to open up our particular action group here. So I'll open up the current date time calculation group. And if we scroll down to our function, you'll see right now we don't have any parameters mentioned. Okay, so let's just add a function, a parameter to our function. So I'll call this parameter username. Okay, and for the description, I'm going to say that this is the name entered by the user in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to be specifically mentioning that the user will be mentioning a name in the chat, and that is what this parameter is. For the required, I'll mention that this is true, so that our agent will be able to ask the user for this particular parameter, and I'll just click on a check mark to make sure that it's a required parameter here. And for the action status, I'm now going to enable this. Okay, so when we enable this action status, this agent will ask us before it invokes any functions, previously when we had seen it directly called our function, but when we enable this, we'll be able to see what parameters it's passing to the functions as well. So let me click on save and exit. And okay, so now that we have saved it, let me save this so that we can prepare our agent. Okay, it's preparing the agent with our latest changes. Now let me copy paste our prompt. So I'm asking it what is the current date time. Let me execute this. And so now you'll see that it's saying that I need to ask the user for the name to proceed. So let me just give my name here, Lennox, and let me click on run. And now, since we had that confirm option enabled, it's asking us that do we want to run this action group. So with the our current datetime agent, it's going to pass in this parameter username with Lennox. So now I'll just click on confirm to allow it. And great, now you will see that it returned back our date time. And if we go to our Lambda function, let me go to monitor tab and we'll see how our parameters are being passed in here. Okay, so before we can check the logs, we just need to make one modification in the code. Let me add it along with the body here, the name, or we can even just add it in the logs, right? So let's just add a log so that we know that what our request is coming in as, or what our parameters that's being passed in. So underneath the parameters, let me just mention that parameters and pass in our parameters variable. Let me deploy this. And once this is deployed, I'll just execute it with the same prompt and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so I've executed the prompts again. Now let's just go back to CloudWatch logs and refresh once, and you'll see that a new log stream has appeared. Let's open that up, and underneath here you'll see a new parameters is mentioned, and you'll see that the name username was the parameter name, and it was of type string, and the value that was passed in was Linux. So in this way, our agents will be able to get any type of data from the chat. It'll be able to pass it into the Lambda functions, and in our Lambda functions, like under the parameters key which is present in our event dictionary, we'll be able to get it, perform any action. So in a more advanced use case, it would be like, let's say you have a ticketing system and you want an agentic AI approach for this. What you would do is you would configure the action group with all of the parameters required. So the date, hotel name, the number of people who are staying. So you can mention all of them as required columns. The agent will be able to prompt the user to ask for each of those details. Finally, it can execute the API in the background, right? So the Lambda function will have the API code to either book the ticket or cancel a ticket, or whatever it is, book a room. And we can manipulate the data, store the data in a database. And so this is how you give your agents access to tools, to like dynamic tools. And in this way, you make your agents not only smart, but also useful in a way that you can automate actions, perform external interact with external services, and much more. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I guess there is one important concept called MCP in LLM. So I think I'll also explain that in the next video, go through that so that you can have an understanding on how to enhance your agentic AI solutions with the newest technology and services as well. So yeah, that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe, and leave your comments like down below on what you'd like to see next, what I need to improve on, and if you have any doubts, I'll be like more than happy to answer them for you guys. So that's it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.